Hello everyone and welcome back to another F1 My Team episode. Today we're here for the US Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, and this weekend is a big one. We could potentially mathematically drop out of the running for the World Championship. First of all, if you haven't seen the previous episode, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right as always. Before we jump into potential spoilers, now the weather forecast this weekend, you can see in the background, rain forecast for qualifying. This weekend, in terms of upgrades, actually quite a few things have happened. There's definitely like a merging of the groups. So you've got the lead pack, which is Red Bull, 97 Racing and Mercedes. You've got the midfield upper, which is AlphaTauri, McLaren, Ferrari, and Aston Martin kind of floating as well, along with Alpine. And then you've got the bottom three teams of Williams, Alfa Romeo and Haas. So things kind of getting quite spicy, quite competitive in this final part of Season 3 as we jump into Q1. And yeah, we're going to get the weekend underway. We went through practice. We had a fairly average session. At this point I'm doing quick practice, so there's not a lot of work being done, to be honest. And yeah, we're going to just crack on with qualifying because that's kind of the main event and the more fun part of the weekend rather than watching some practice stuff. So currently on soft tyres as we make our way towards the end of our first lap in Q1. Now I will say, you guys who are OGs will know this is not my best track. You know, I'm traditionally not just not fast around here. Unfortunately, I just don't have the pace. And you combine that with the fact it's one of the AI's stronger tracks, and we're in for a bit of a tricky one. But yeah, nonetheless, we got our first lap on the board. We go P8 at the time, and that was actually enough to get us into Q2 in P14. We didn't have to go back out again, so happy days. And you can see Schwartzman there in P7, 1 full second faster than us, though, which is a little bit concerning as Perez goes fastest in Q1. So yeah, we moved to Q2. And soft tyres on the car again, and it's got quite overcast, and that rain that we saw at the start of the video is on the way. It is looming, it's on the horizon, so this first lap is going to be important for us to make sure it's a good one. So making our way through the final couple of corners, trying to end the lap on a high. The final corner now, third gear, making sure we short shift and get some decent traction as we run across the line. We go P10 ahead of George Russell, but it wasn't quite enough. We now join the action for my final run. And you can see the rain is falling, so it's not going to be optimal track conditions, but you know what? We'll give it a shot and see what happens. So Easy does it out the final corner, making sure we get a nice clean run, which to be fair was actually a bit too clean. We just went a bit too slowly and a bit too safe. Up to turn 1, bring the car to the right, brake at the black box on the right, which is on the fencing, down a third, and then short shift your way out of turn 1. Keep it tight through 2. As we make our way into the S section, 7th gear, and then a lift through that left one, then a downshift, keeping the car super tight, and then another downshift for the next left as we're currently up by a fraction in the first sector. We find a heap of time through the top of the chicane, and we're now 3/10 up, heading downhill into the hairpin, braking at about 75 meters, down a 3rd gear. Important to get the traction out of here, which I am starting to struggle with because of the conditions. Otherwise we could have been 4 to 4.5 tenths up, to be honest. Along the back straight, spot the braking. Want to try and brake at about the 100 meter board, bring the car to the right, down a 3rd gear. I don't quite trouble the apex, I actually lock up and run a bit deep. You want to cut that curb a lot, you can find a lot of time there. And now into the Mickey Mouse section, a double right followed by a double left. Really tricky with this low grip scenario right now with the rain falling down to get it right, but we do manage to hold on to our 3/10 of a second advantage. We then go through the triple rights, getting a bit of understeer there as the rain picks up now gradually through the penultimate corner, carrying the momentum nicely, and then the final corner, 3rd gear, a slight lock up on the entry. We do clean up our exit quite nice, and then DRS open across the line, and we improve by near enough to 3/10. Is it going to be enough though to move us into Q3? No, it isn't. Unfortunately, we're out in P12, so bit of a shame. To be fair, I was nowhere near. I was 4/10 off, so yeah, bit disappointing, to be fair. I thought we had a bit more pace, maybe not enough for Q3, but I wanted to be a little bit closer than that. So you know what, P12 is not terrible. We get the option of the free tyre choice, which is decent, so we'll see what we can do with that in the race. Either way, the rain making it a bit complicated to really improve. I think if it was completely dry, I think there was another 2/10, maybe 3/10 in that lap. It would have been really close between ourselves and Sonoda, but still, P12 for us in qualifying. Let's now move into the race.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Gasly, Lewis Hamilton and Sainz, Leclerc, Norris, Martinez and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll, Russell, Esteban Ocon and Tsunoda. They've taken a grid penalty. Schwartzman, Giovinazzi, Nobuharu Matsushita and Christian Lundgaard. Mick Schumacher, Latifi, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Now it's race day, Circuit of the Americas, and we start from P9. We've benefited from a fair few grid penalties, and we've got a chance today to hopefully turn things around in the race. Now, strategy for this one is going to be a medium soft, a one-stop strategy, alternate strategy at that. Weather forecast is dry, no rain expected, and fuel-wise, I'm going to go 28 laps on the nose, no more, no less, the exact amount. There shouldn't be a problem with that. Now, for the race itself, I'm not sure what to expect exactly. I know the hard tyres are generally a tyre you want to stay away from. The mediums last a long time, and the softs aren't too bad either. So I feel like the one stop is the way to go. It's just a question if we can make the alternate strategy work on the mediums. That's going to be the real challenge in this one here today. Realistically, I think if Verstappen outscores us, I think the championship is mathematically over. I'm not sure of the exact permutations because I'm ultimately not that concerned anymore because I don't think I'm going to win it. So we'll see at the end of the episode. But anyway, let's get into the racing. Let's try and get a good result. We start P9 on fresh compound tyre, so let's give it a shot and fingers crossed we can bag some big points. Okay, let's do this. 5 lights are on mediums. Very quick 5 lights, we're underway. Trying to get a good start that we cut off Lance Stroll. The outside line is where you want to be at turn 1 as we try to have a look. Luckily we've recovered and we've got back ahead of Sebastian Vettel, so we're still exactly where we started as we head into the S section. Seb, they're trying to get past again, but we cut him off early on. It's going to be tough, but if we can hold pace with this tyre and stay within DRS, that would be ideal and, you know, the best case scenario for us, but it's going to be a tricky one to pull off. Anyway, let's see if we can close in a bit here. But the outside lines are definitely the way to go, through the hairpin right here and also turn 1 on lap 1. I do recommend you guys give those a shot. In the meantime though, we've got a bit of a run on Leclerc here. Going to keep the overtake on. Maybe we can try and push for an overtake on Charles. Up the inside goes Leclerc. He tries to go past Lando. We try to go on the outside. Not quite able to find the grip on these. As I got a bit of a hit in the rear there, I think, from Sebastian Vettel. Just a slight tap. But yeah, we tried to get past Leclerc, wasn't quite able to make it work. But we'll take this for now. Let's see if we're still within range, within a lap's time. Oh, and actually Seb pits. So he definitely did hit me on the rear. That's meant Stroll and Schwartzman have dropped back a little bit. If Schwartzman arrives on softs, the next car behind me, then I'll let him go because he's faster than me on softs right now. And obviously I want what's best for the team, first and foremost. I'm not going to lie, the car does not feel good at all. Not enjoying this one bit. It just doesn't feel fast. There's no front end on the car right now. Stroll here closing in for a move. He's going to go to the outside, which is interesting. I'm going to try and hold it on the inside and run him out of road, but we're dropping off right now. Pace just isn't there. I've got so much understeer, I'm going to have to crank up the front wing, which I've already changed and selected for the pit stop because there's just no front on the car right now. Oh, yellow flag.
Okay, clear.
That's behind, I think. Someone's had a problem behind. Let's wait and see and get confirmation on that. Looks like an AlphaTauri to me. He's got going though, so just a partial spin. Stroll coming back for more here, but he's not going to get close enough, I don't think. Yeah, Stroll's going to get me here, I think. This is so frustrating. Why does the car feel so bad? It felt fine in qualifying. Changed nothing on the setup. I also can't stop locking up the fronts, and I'm on 85 pressure with 55 bias, but the fronts just keep locking. It's literally, I can't stop it. I don't really want to go into 54 bias, but I may have to try it. Oh boy, my right rear is overheating, and I'm not even driving fast. Like I can't even push the car, but there's the first one for track limits as well. This is going to be a painful race, this one, I think. We need to one-stop this to make anything get out of this race. If we're going to get any kind of result, we need to one-stop it. But it's going to be rinse and repeat the same pattern the whole time. I think Stroll's is going to keep trying to get past, to be honest. We'll stay ahead for this time on this straight, but it's going to be the same rinse and repeat pattern. Look at my tyres, man. Oh my god. I've got the pressures all wrong. Should have gone way lower. I mean, I'm running like, the pressures on the front are in the middle on the front tyres, and then the ones in the rear just one click higher. They're not even that high, but the soft tyres are going to be horrible, by the way. I can already tell we're going to be in big trouble on the soft tyre. Oh.
Some information on Sonoda. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
So Yuki out, but no safety car from that, so we're down to 21 cars now. So we've got cars in the pit lane. Schwartzman actually pits as well.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Copy.
There's the team already offering me the one stop that I was going to go for anyways, a Schwartzman pit, so we don't have to worry about him. Verstappen, the championship leader, is behind us, and I think it's going to be pretty much impossible for us to stop him. He is two stopping. He's on softs again, but there's no way we're going to keep him behind. I'm going to actually stay on board here because he'll be on the back of me by the straight. So I don't have any pace in this race, unfortunately, and the soft tyres here aren't going to fix that realistically. Unfortunately, I need to just run minimum pressures at this stage. Every single race, I can't run higher pressures because my car's too fast and my tyres kill the tyres pretty much because they just overheat straight away. So yeah, here's Max. I'll try and hold him back a little bit, but it's going to be literally impossible. And there he goes. And job done. Easy enough. A few more cars in the pits, and we've already dropped out of the RS range from Verstappen. Signs in there right now for Ferrari. Looks like Perez leaving the pit exit right now on hards. It's going to be close between me and him, but I wouldn't mind being ahead as he is on the hard tyre. I'd love to clear him, which we do. We'll probably get past straight away anyways, but yeah, Norris still out there on softs. He should be in this lap from McLaren. Oh my god. This is why I hate everything about my team right now. The car, the brakes, all of it. The car is just not fun to drive, guys. But anyway, all three of them guys get past. And Gasly not too far behind either in the AlphaTauri. Let's try and be careful here and not get wing damage if I can avoid it. I'm going to let Pierre go here. I've got my DRS open, but he'll pass me anyway because I'm not using the ERS. Lando Norris pits for McLaren. And we're now P6 in this race. Still got quite a while yet until we pit. We'll box around lap 17, 18. We've got a fresh set of softs to go on to. Oh, this is so frustrating, man. How's that a warning? I don't even know why. I lost time anyway. Personal best, but I can't use 56 bias. I'm just going to lock up the fronts like crazy. So I'm driving 55, but the problem is once my rears get hot through fast, long corners like the S section right here, the next heavy brake zone is absolutely horrible to get through. It really is. Got Carlos Sainz behind me right now. I don't think he's close enough to make a move. We should be able to stay ahead. We know the Ferrari isn't the best on the straight, but now we've got pressure from the Ferraris. And I've messed that up a little bit. I'm running a bit wide, but we should be okay. Shouldn't affect me too badly. And we've got another yellow. I think it's Schwartzman though, unfortunately. Our teammate. I think he's spun. I don't think he's out of the race. We'll get confirmation, but yeah, I think, yeah, Schwartzman spun. He's back on the way. That's unfortunate for us as a team. We were on for some points with Schwartzman, but that's now gone. Anyway, Sainz putting pressure on here.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
You can see the straight line speed is actually pretty good. We can actually pull away slightly at the start of the straight, and then at the very end he pulls us back in, but we're looking okay. Just got to try and hold on till lap 18 and we'll box for softs. Here Gasly pits, so does Hamilton, and so does Leclerc. Sainz stays out with me. Interesting, so the two stoppers are starting to come in. We may have to box a lap earlier here just to make sure we cover off the undercut and actually get a chance for some points still. Right, we're going to call it in a lap early. I want to try and stay ahead of as many cars as possible, so if that means parking the bus for the final stint, we'll do so, but I want to try and not get undercut if I can avoid it, so into the pit lane we go. Nice and aggressive there. Perfect entry. So tyre wear, looking okay. Not too shabby on the old tyre wear, so we should be fine on the softs. We need a nice sub 2 second stop though. That would really be good. Look at the fuel, by the way.
Robert is coming in for his stop. Complete, go now.
Awful. 3.1, that's going to affect Schwartzman maybe. Actually, I think it might be okay.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Look at that. Leclerc has pulled off the undercut. Here's some mediums though, so I think we can try and get him back. Let's see. Let's try and stay within DRS. Sainz lost a load of time. I wonder if he got a front wing change or something. Or maybe got held. I don't know what happened with Carlos, to be fair. He did tap me a little bit on the last lap through this corner right here where he tried to just go for a stupid lunge when there was no room. Maybe that gave him damage, not quite sure. Either way, let's get Leclerc. Let's use a bit of battery here to close in on the Monegasque. I'm hoping I have to try and keep my temperatures under control on these. It's going to be harder, in theory, but you never know. Maybe the tyre holds up better. Here we go. DRS, ERS, full power as we get the one on Leclerc. To the outside we go, and we've done it. Forcing Leclerc into the apex, pinching him into the corner. So P7 right now. It's about as good as it's going to get, I think. Cars ahead are way too fast, both Mercs, both Red Bulls, Gasly, and then I think Lando going long on the hard tyre, so unless we get a safety car or something, this is going to be it for us this race, which is a shame to say, but that's just the reality. Let's try and see if we can get a fastest lap maybe. That would be pretty decent. I don't know if we've done enough for a fastest lap, to be honest. I don't think we have the pace. No, we don't.
Currently, the fastest lap is a 1 minute 29.5.
Missed out by a tenth, but that probably means we wouldn't have got it anyway because the AI always do their best laps at the end of the race on full power, so fair enough. That's how far off the pace we are. I think from now on I'm going to start the races with like the minimum fuel because we save so much fuel in a race, it's unbelievable. We'd actually probably benefit quite a bit from starting with like -2 laps, to be honest. We're right on 108 degrees Celsius just now. I'm just driving, man, but these tyres are better than the mediums because even when they're hot, they still actually hold up pretty well. Just got to manage it a little bit, but in general, I can see this is a much better race tyre. I think we're going to be okay, by the way, to hold on to P7. I think we've got enough of a gap to Leclerc now that even if he catches back up at the end, we can hold him off. Ideally, a late safety car VSC would be quite interesting right now, but we'll see what happens. Oh no, that's a bad one. Yeah, 109. Whew, that felt pretty bad. Just trying to get to the end now. What a disaster of a race. Tyres are absolutely fried. We are catching Lando, but we're going to run out of laps. So make our way through the final few corners then. So P7, it's decent points considering the issues we've had this race. Perez wins it on the one stop using the hard tyre, fair play. In hindsight, if I'd known how bad my temperatures would have been, I would have gone for the hard tyre, but oh well, I've never had it this bad the entire season. And yeah, there we go, final corner, P7, and with that our championship is pretty much done, to be honest.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
A truly magnificent drive and a great performance from the entire team to secure the win here in Austin. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
So yeah, there we go. Race results are in, and a decent race from Perez, to be fair, to win it. Bottas P2 with the fastest lap. Verstappen third on the podium again. Hamilton P4, Gasly P5, and then it's Lando also on the one-stop lap. Perez making it work for P6. We finished in 7th place ahead of Leclerc, Sainz, and then Schwartzman. Even after that spin, recovering to a top 10 finish. And to be fair, I think Robo had pace for a top 6 quite easily, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Ricciardo misses out on the points along with Ocon, Vettel, Stroll, Latifi, Giovinazzi, Russell, Lundgaard, Matsushita, Schumacher, Mazepin, and Tsunoda, who of course retired from the race. And yeah, I think, how many races are left after this one? Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi, right? And Australia. So 4 races left, 100 points up for grabs. We're mathematically no longer in contention for the World Drivers' Championship. So there will be a champion this year. That will be either Verstappen, Bottas, or Perez. One thing's for certain, we'll have a brand new champion because Hamilton is also out of the running after that race. So myself and Lewis are out, and it's 2 Red Bulls versus 1 Mercedes. And to be fair, you've got a fancy Red Bull, haven't you? Because they're looking so strong. In the constructors, we're P3, and that looks pretty much locked in at this stage. It's still Red Bull versus Mercedes in the constructors, but Red Bull looking very strong heading into the final race of Season 3. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys, from the race. Let's move into upgrades. So first of all, let's get the first bit of business out of the way, and that is a sponsorship renewal with Lupo Industries. We'll get that sorted. We've only got 3 days until the next race in Mexico, so not a lot to really get done. We'll go for a second driver performance review, and we'll just throw on a driver promotion filming as well. R&D though is where we want to work. Now we can officially end the upgrades on the aerodynamics here today by purchasing the front nose or under nose turning vane. So we're going to go ahead and get that. That should arrive before the end of the season, and it looks like that will just edge us ahead of Red Bull in the aero department. So yeah, 2 upgrades on the way right now. No, never mind, just the one. The minor one did arrive in the end, so yeah, we're looking decent, but it doesn't add up, you know, how we're second in the performance chart but still struggling for points. Anyway, let's skip ahead to the next race. Now before we do, we've got a quick simulator department event, and this is a routine change for Schwartzman. So they essentially want to change it from consistency or racecraft. Either way, they want to try and focus on certain things. Now, to be honest with you, looking at the options we have, I feel like I fancy a bit of racecraft. I think Schwartzman is not far off, and I think with a bit of a tweak to the racecraft, he could be on there quite soon. So let's go for that. And yeah, there we go. That is it for today's episode. The next race will be Mexico. That's usually a strong track for me, so if we don't do well around there, we've got problems. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like, subscribe for more, and as always, let's try and hit over 1,000 likes. That would be pretty damn sweet. Finally, check out 2 videos on screen, and a shout out goes to the members of the channel as always. But thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one.